The donkey and the dog. A washerman had a donkey and a dog. Both the donkey and the dog helped his master in many ways. One night, few thieves broke in the house of that washerman. The dog heard them and started barking. The washerman got up and so did the neighbors. "What is that?" "A dog." "Let us run," said the thieves. They feared some dangerous consequences. By that time many people gathered in the street. They tried to run away but they were caught by the people. The washerman said, "I am glad I had this dog in my house. I am sure the thieves would have looted me if my dog had not barked." The washerman was highly proud of the dog. Everyone too praised the dog. From that day, the donkey started thinking, "The master thinks that the dog is a more useful animal than me." The donkey decided he will show his master, the washerman, that he too could be useful just like the dog. Few days passed. One night, it so happened, two thieves again entered the washerman's house. The thieves became aware of the animals present in that house. "We should be careful, friend. I have heard that a dog guards this house," one thief said to the other. As the thieves peeped in, they saw the dog sitting just outside the main door. "It seems the dog is quite alert," said one thief. "It is better to leave this house alone. We had better go at once," the other thief said, and the two thieves fled. But unknown to the thieves, the donkey was watching all this. He thought, "It is a good opportunity for me to show my master that I too can be useful to him. The thieves have run away. If I start shouting, the master will think that I have driven the thieves away and out of this house." And the foolish donkey started braying loudly. When the washerman heard the donkey bray at this odd hour, he got angry. He came out with a stick and thrashed the donkey. "This will teach him not to bray at night," he screamed. The donkey got all the thrashes in silence. It did not know what was taking place. Just then the dog came to the donkey and said, "It is better to do your duties than try to be like me." The donkey knew that the dog was right. Thereafter both the donkey and the dog remained peaceful. The donkey and the cotton. There once lived a salt merchant. He had a monkey for his assistants. Every morning, he would load a sack of salt on the donkey and go to the nearby town to sell it. On the way, they had to walk across a pond. One day, while crossing the pond, the donkey thought, "Oh, this load is so heavy that I become exhausted very soon. I wish I could get some of this load taken off my back." Just then the donkey tripped and fell into the water. Fortunately, the donkey was not hurt. But the sack of salt on the donkey's back fell into the water. Both the donkey and the salt became wet. Some of the salt in the sack got dissolved, making the load on the donkey lighter. The donkey felt very happy about the reduction in the weight of the sack of salt on its back. The merchant did his best to help the donkey to get up and they carried on their journey. From that day, It became a regular practice for the donkey to slip and fall in the pond whenever they crossed the pond to the market. This would dissolve some salt in the sack, thus reducing the weight and relieving the donkey of some load. The merchant was not aware of the donkey's cunningness. This continued for a few days. One day, the merchant noticed the donkey deliberately slipping and landing with the sack into the water. "Oh, so this is the way I am losing my salt every day," he thought. He decided to teach the donkey a lesson. Next morning, instead of loading a sack of salt, the merchant loaded a sack of cotton on the donkey's back. As usual, they had decided to reach the market by crossing the same pond. While crossing the same pond, the donkey, as usual, slipped and fell into the pond, hoping that after some time the weight of the sack would go reduced. As usual, both the donkey and the cotton would become wet. But this time, when he got up, the load on his back seemed heavier. "Oh, the load seems to have gotten heavier," thought the donkey. The donkey was astonished at what had taken place against the usual result. The merchant looked at the donkey and said, "Dear friend, I saw you fall into the water of the pond deliberately every day with the malicious intention of reducing the weight of the salt. So, I loaded a sack of cotton today. Cotton when wet gets more weight and becomes heavier. Now you will have to carry it to the town." The poor donkey had learnt his lesson. The dog in the shadow. A big dog stole a piece of bone from a kitchen. It began to run very fast. It came to a stream. The stream was bridged by a plank. As he walked across the plank, he saw a very strange sight. The water in the stream was clear and quiet. It saw another dog with another bone in its mouth in the water. "Oh," said the dog. "What is this? Another dog with a piece of bone down in water. With a much bigger piece than mine. I will take it from the dog." But the dog did not realize that the dog in the water was its own reflection. He opened its mouth to catch the piece of bone from the dog in the water. Alas! Down fell his own dinner with a loud splash. The gentle waving movement of the water cleared. The dog was staring up out of the water with empty jaws. It was his shadow that he saw all the time, and the shadow of his piece of bone too. The diamond ring. An old man gave his money and gold to his sons. He showed them his diamond ring and said to them, "I am not giving this ring to you now. Go out and do some noble deeds. Then come to me. Tell me your deeds. Then I will give this diamond ring to one of you. The ring will be the reward for the noblest deed." The sons went out. They did noble deeds. After some time, they returned to their father. One of the sons said, "Father, give me the ring. I have done a great and noble deed. A man left all his money with me. He traveled many countries. Then he came to me. He wanted his money back. I returned his money to him." Another son said, a child fell into a river. The water was carrying the child away. I jumped into the river. I saved the child. The third son said, "Father, please listen to me. My enemy was sleeping on the edge of a huge rock. I went to him and woke him up." The father said, "All the people love their friends. But you loved your enemy. You saved him from his death. Yours is the noblest deed. Take this ring." The curse of the bullock. Long time ago, in a small village lived an old woman with her daughter. While the old woman was hard working, her daughter was lazy and selfish. They had a bullock. "We should take proper care of our bullock," the old woman would say. "Our animals should serve us, not we serve them," the daughter would reply. There was a pond, at some distance from the old woman's house. Every afternoon, she used to take the bullock to the pond to have a bath and to drink water. Meanwhile, the lazy daughter would eat and sleep. One day, the old woman fell ill. She requested her daughter to take the bullock to the pond. "It is very hot today, dear. The bullock must be thirsty," said the old woman. "Look, I have some sweets here. I know you love sweets, dear. Take the bullock for a drink. While he is drinking water, you can eat these sweets," the old woman added, handing a box of sweets to her daughter. The greedy girl agreed. But as soon as she was out of her mother's sight, the lazy girl tied the bullock to a tree and sat down to eat the sweets. The thirsty bullocks waited for the daughter to finish eating the sweets. "I hope she eats fast. I am really thirsty," thought the bullock. But after having eaten all the sweets, the daughter returned home and lied to her mother that she had taken the bullock to the pond and that the bullock drank water from the pond. The bullock was extremely angry. He cursed the daughter, "In your next birth, you may be born as a chatak, a bird that drinks water when only it rains. As you kept me thirsty today, so will you remain thirsty." The curse of the bullock came true. In her next birth, the daughter was born a chatak. It is said that a chatak is a bird that waits for rains, remaining thirsty throughout the year, despite having water all around.